Hi, everybody. I'm Dan, and I'm Collector Scum. What's going on, everybody? It's Dan Moonshine back with another Moonshine talking. How you doing? Hope everyone's holidays were good. Mine were all right. They were quiet. Talked to my family because most of my family's up northeast, and beyond that, didn't do a whole hell of a lot. Watch movies, listen to music, just farted around my place since pretty much nothing was open, so couldn't really do too much. It's Christmas this year fell on my day off, so it was basically I lost a day, but I'm fortunate because I had some extra PTO for the end of the year, so I got to use that. So I'm burning that. And part of what I did in burning that the past couple of weeks was I went to a couple of my favorite record stores in the Tampa Bay area, and I figured I would share with everybody what a filthy, dirty collector scum monkey that I am. So two of my favorite spots to go to and pick stuff up as far as physical media goes is Sound Exchange here in Tampa and another place called Steelworker Records, also in Tampa. Both I've probably mentioned multiple times. Steelworker is an awesome place. I was kind of bummed that I didn't get to get any video of the store itself just to show that and people could take a look if you're not from the area. But it's a very cool shop. The owner, Ken, has a great taste, great selection, good prices, and it's you can get lost in there for hours. Like I went there 2 weeks in a row, which I'll explain in a minute. And the first time that I went, I hadn't been in a while, and I had time to burn. I didn't feel obligated to go anywhere. Like I didn't have a workout that I wanted to get to or anything like that. So I pretty much scheduled it to where I could spend plenty of time there. And I legit was there for like probably like 3.5 hours. I almost was there long enough to the point where it was sunlight out when I got there, and it was about to hit dusk by the time that I finally left. So that's the type of place it is. That's how cool it is, especially if you're somebody who likes collecting physical media, likes metal. He's also got a really good selection of old school reggae and punk and hardcore, lots of country western and bluegrass stuff too. A whole wide variety of stuff. And yeah, he's very knowledgeable. He knows his stuff. He's a very knowledgeable music person, and you talk to him about stuff. He'll find you stuff. Yeah, it's a very cool place. And Sound Exchange, it's just it's another record store, which is it's another almost like a consignment place, but they also sell new releases, sell CDs, vinyl, tape. They sell DVDs and all sorts of stuff like that. Another very cool place. It's been here as long as I've lived here. Sound Exchange has been around. They've been to two different locations in the time that I've lived in the Tampa area. And yeah, another very cool place. The managers there, they're very friendly, very cool with me. I go in there, been going there for years, so they recognize me at this point. One of the managers wrestled, and he trained out of a school that my old tag partner, Mike Patrick, used to be involved with. So we were familiar with each other through uh, that endeavor. And yeah, so very cool stuff. So enough babbling. Let's get into the reason you're here is to see what I got for you. I'll try to play some clips. I don't want to be here for wasting your time forever, but I did pull up a bunch of stuff. That's why we're using the stream tard. And yeah, so let's get it. So first of all, uh, what ended up happening is I went there, like I said, a week ago and bought a bunch of stuff. But then come Monday, I was checking my emails. Got a notification in one of my emails that one of my doctors had issued me a refund. And I was like, and it was for a pretty decent amount because I had to get something done. And the insurance company apparently I had to pay the deductible, which was a considerable amount. And I guess apparently they paid it, and I got a refund on it. So I had just paid my credit card bill off, so I had a little bit of I had some funds to play with. So instead of saving it like a smart person, I went and passed it on to a local shop owner and try to keep keep small business afloat, because I'm a big believer in that too. But I am collector scum, and I could not help myself. So I have with me, I pretty much broke this down by the type of media that I purchased, and then I'll try to talk about it as briefly as I can. So first of all, I'm going to start with the 7 inches that I bought. I bought a bunch of 7 inches when I went back the second time, because the second time I went, it was because there was a bunch of cool stuff that I left behind the first time. Some of it wasn't there. Like there was a Melvin CD that I wanted to pick up that wasn't there. There's a couple other things that weren't there that I was going to get, but then I got moving around through the store and I just kept finding cool stuff. And I made the mistake on my way to pick one of the things up that I wanted to get on the second trip. I ended up poking my head into the 7-inch collection. So this is what I got. So first up is this 7-inch, a single for Deceased, cloned, Day of the Robot. Very cool stuff. Everybody's familiar with Deceased. I really enjoy them. Just a fantastic band. Can't go wrong. This was a single from Surreal Overdose. And I'll see if I can't play a little bit of that for you real quick here. Here, let's pull that up and you can get a little taste of this.
Scientific nightmares. We require the skills to recreate as they multiply. They must stand divine, then they multiply again. Sequence after sequence, they can't leave what's wrong alone. But now the numbers all fit, the figures they match. For better or for worse, it seems we'll all be cloned.
Yeah, you kind of get the idea. And then they do a couple covers of there's a Cro-Mags cover and an English Dogs cover on there. So very cool stuff. Then also the next one I picked up, it's a split 7-inch from a couple of bands that I had not heard of before, but it looked kind of cool, and it was $3. So I figured what's the worst that could happen here. So this is from a pair of bands. Both are heavy metal, thrash, crossover type stuff. And the first band is, I didn't write down where these guys were from. My apologies on that. But the first band is Axe Ripper, and the second one is a band called Lochnar. And both two songs each on this bad boy. And again, don't know them from Adam. Wasn't really familiar with either of them, but regardless, I figured I would check it out. And so this is some Axe Ripper. I'm on the air. Yeah, man, very cool stuff. I'm trying to breeze through these a little bit because I don't want to play too much of the stuff and then end up having it, I don't know, get copyright flagged or something like that. A lot of my stuff gets copyright notifications, although most of the time I'm allowed to play the stuff, but probably if I ever got monetized or anything, it'd probably be an issue. The only time it was somewhat of an issue was I'm doing a best of the year thing that's going to be coming out early next week. And I did a whole little cool little opening segment where I wasn't really allowed to play it because I used the theme song for Shaft by Isaac Hayes. So I got a notification of that. So I removed it and redid it and all that sort of stuff. But maybe if I'm lucky, I can do a short and kind of show everyone, be like the deleted scene of my best of the year thing. But I thought it was funny. And that's generally a lot of times. I think that's some of my best stuff, is the stuff that I think is hilarious, that makes me laugh, is the sort of stuff that always seems to not work out quite as I intended. It was also very lo-fi quality. I filmed it on my laptop, but yeah, very cool stuff. I'm legit just stalling for time here. So this is the song Dawn of the Dead from the band Lochnar, which is the second band on the split. So let's check this out.
Trapped in a spell, among you we dwell, among the living intoxicated, eviscerated, your face behind, face upon your grace, dawn of the dead, dawn of the dead, dawn of the dead.
Yeah, man. So that's that. So then, so next up is a very, very cool band. I've talked about them multiple times. They're probably one of my favorite bands that I've listened to in recent years. It's going to be this one right here. You have to forgive me. I'm just trying to find it in my deal here. So this is for the Italian speed black thrash metal band, the three-piece Barbarian. This came out on Hell's Headbangers and I think I wrote it. This came out in 2017. Actually, going back, that split came out in 2013, and the Deceased one that came out in September 2011. But again, the very cool black and thrash band that I really, really enjoy the hell out of. And they're super cool. I don't think that was shared, but it was playing. But yeah, man. So here, let's check out some of this. It's 3 songs, and it's about, I didn't write down how long it was, but yeah, here's some of what Barbarians sound like. This is But yeah, you kind of get an idea of what they sound like. Very cool stuff. They have a new album coming out in January on Dying Victims Productions. It's called Rika God. And that's one of the ones I'm looking forward to as far as stuff that's coming out in the new year. And yeah, man. So that was that one. That was another cool one. And then next up on my things that I picked up, it was this band. This was, excuse me, more or less a blind buy. This is a 3-song demo. This is from Norway's Dead to This World. It's called Dominions of Death. It came out in 2006. This is an Iron Pegasus release here. And like I said, 3 songs. It's a 2-piece band from Norway. Just picked it up basically because of that album cover. It was like, I was honestly thinking to myself, Barry, you would really enjoy this based on the cover alone. So I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, so I've never heard it before, so I figured I would check it out with you all and let's see what we think here. So here we go. Let's full screen that. Boom, boom, boom. Check this out. Yeah, it's not bad. Little dirty, nasty black thrash there. So yeah, I'll be listening to that a little bit. I'll dig into it and see how much I like it. See what the deal is there. But again, some of these were real cheap, so I figured worst case scenario. If I didn't like them, I'd give them as gifts or something like that. I'd figure out something to do with them. Give me a second. I want to take another swig of water. So again, this next one I got coming up here. This one was another blind buy. It was something I wasn't familiar with beyond the fact that I just found it in the 7-inch bin and I thought the cover looked cool, so I went ahead and picked it up. This is for the band Satanic Goat Ritual. Amazing name. This is God of Atomic Termination. It's a demo that came out in 2011. They are a 3-piece from El Paso, Texas. Some Tejas, Black and Death. And yeah, again, I'm going to play along with this. Another one where, Barry, you'll probably dig the hell out of that cover, if nothing else. And yes, let's hear how this one sounds. So this is going to be for the song Goat Messiah 666. Definitely has that kind of war metal feel to it. A little bit of that kind of blasphemy sound going on. But yeah, that was cool. So, I'll let you know what I think of that. Let me know what you thought of it. Because, again, I was just listening to that for the first time. Just bought it this afternoon. And just figured I would muck around here. So then one that I picked up last week. Now, that's all 7 inches. Now get into the vinyls. And we're going to stay in Texas. So next up, this is a reissue from Nuclear War Now. This is for the band Imprecation. And this is, hopefully I don't open up any portals by saying this, but this is Thuria Goia Suma. And again, Nuclear War Now reissue of their early 90s output, demos, EP, Stigil of Baphomet. And this was between, I picked this up based on Revik from More Than Red, his recommendation. I shot him a text and asked him what would be a better pickup, either getting Oath of Black Blood by Beharit or this one. He said pick this one up, and he wasn't wrong. It had a lot more doomier elements that it kind of caught me off guard. I was kind of surprised by that, but yeah, very, very cool stuff. So I figured I'd play a small piece of that. And yeah, man, Chris Moyen cover art is unreal. Yeah, very cool stuff. I was enjoying that. Again, I was surprised by how many doomy elements there were to this album. I thought it was just gonna be straight hit blasting, almost kind of that Black and Death war metal type stuff. But no, it wasn't. It's good. I really enjoyed it. And Revik, thank you again. This is a very cool recommendation. And yeah, I was digging that quite a bit. So definitely a cool pickup. Then I kind of last week when I was at Steelworker, I kind of went a bit ham with I went on a bit of a classic rock bender. So we're going to stay in Texas real quick. I'm not going to be playing this because this will definitely get the video popped. But how about some Fandango by ZZ Top? Very cool stuff. Balinese is one of my favorite ZZ Top songs of all time. I really enjoy. I enjoy ZZ Top. This is a very cool album. Some live stuff on there that was really good. At least it sounded live. They might have piped in the crowd noise like a WWE crowd nowadays. But yeah, very cool stuff. Tush. You can't go wrong with Tush. That's a fantastic song. But again, Balinese is one of my favorite songs ever. The first time I heard it was on the movie Dazed and Confused, and then on the soundtrack, and I just fell in love with it. And I love Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers. Actually, I don't have it on disc, but there is a VHS copy out there of me where I created a music video based on the song and did a whole highlight reel, like a little sizzle reel of when I was doing my Moonshine McCoy wrestling gimmick. So I got to get that transferred over at some point. And then I can show everybody, really show a few people, because I can't imagine that certain platforms will let me play that with the song being on it. But then next up, yeah, I picked this one up because I had to. I just had to. Some Ted Nugent, Cat Scratch Fever. Didn't have a copy of this. I do now. Fantastic stuff. I mean, Cat Scratch Fever. You can't go wrong with that. Wang Dang, Sweet Poontang, fantastic. Probably my favorite song on here is 1,000 Knives. I really like Ted Nugent's band. He's the focal point, the charismatic, the ringleader of it, all that charisma and everything. But Derek St. Holmes is probably one of the most underrated vocalists in classic rock. He's got a very bluesy, soulful voice to him. He's got really good range, a lot of power in his voice. If you ever saw that live album where they do, I think it's on Double Live Gonzo, where they do Just What the Doctor Ordered, just the vibrato that he hits on that and the first verse is fantastic stuff. I mean, he's an excellent vocalist, and over the years, his pipes have held up. I mean, he still can. I don't know if 2025 current year going into 2026, he can still hit some of those notes, but as of a few years ago, he was still nailing them pretty good. Then I picked up "Walk the Line" by Aerosmith. It's got Kings and Queens on there, or "Draw the Line," excuse me. "Walk the Line." That's Johnny Cash. But another excellent album. I don't have any Aerosmith on vinyl. Barely have any on CD or tape. I think I got a copy of Pump, and then I have a Greatest Hits, and I think that's about it as far as my Aerosmith that I have. But I love Kings and Queens. I mean, a lot of their stuff early on it had kind of like moodiness to it, kind of a darkness to it at times, but not in the sense of like the metal sense of darkness, but there was definitely a moody, brooding underpinnings to some of their stuff. And that probably came from them staring into the abyss a little bit too heavily due to all the drug use and the alcohol abuse and all that sort of thing. So, I mean, these things happen, but very cool stuff. I mean, you listen to Seasons of Wither on Get Your Wings. It's very, very cool stuff. I enjoyed it, at least. Then I found this, and I had to get this. I have a dubbed copy of it that a buddy of mine recorded for me, and because he said you have to have a copy of this. But then I found this very cheap. I think it was like $8. So I said, yeah, I got to get this one, man. Rainbow Rising, or not Rainbow Rising, but Rainbow Live from, I believe it's in Germany. And this is a fantastic. My buddy Paul was constantly telling me about this one. It's got a gatefold. I'm just futzing with it, trying to open it up. Yeah, man, check that out. Just good stuff right there. That opener with "Kill the King," as they go into it, and you hear Dio in the background going, "Hey!" It just excellent stuff. 16th century green sleeves. Yeah, it's an excellent album. I've loved that for years and just happened to find it, and I was like, all right, I got to get that one. Another one, I have this on CD, but I bought this for a friend of mine because I was trying to help her beef up her collection a little bit. And then I was actually talking to my buddy Paul today, and he was talking about, oh man, do you have that Montrose on vinyl? I was like, I did, but I didn't. I did, but I gave it to somebody. So then it was there today. So I picked up Montrose self-titled, and this is a killer album. Bad Motor Scooter. Fantastic song. What else? What are some of the other? Space Station number 5. Am I saying that right? But yeah, there's a ton of killer stuff on. I haven't spun this in a while. I haven't played this I haven't played my disc in a while. But yeah, Space Station number 5. What's the I can't think of the one with the making sticks out of logs or something or other. But yeah, very cool stuff. Sammy Hagar and younger years, Ronnie Montrose. Yeah, very killer stuff. So yeah, man, I picked that up. And then I got this. This is one that I got at Sound Exchange. I'm going to try to speed this up a little bit. Got this at Sound Exchange. I was picking up some stuff for Christmas for people, and I had to get this. This is a 2025 reissue by Roadrunner. It's on they call it Deathly Blue white vinyl. It's got a poster in there. Besides, which I'll get into this, besides Once Upon a Cross, I pretty much have the first 4 on vinyl. This of them, they kind of like started with me. That's probably where I start tapping out with Deicide is this one, right? Probably the first 3 are probably my favorite Deicide albums. The new one's good, but probably those are my favorites of the first 3. And then this one's where it starts for me that I just start tapping out a little bit with them. I don't get into like super fan territory with Deicide, but I do enjoy them. Very good album. And I said, no, I got to get that too. And I saw it there. It was there and I didn't pick it up. And I said, you know what, if it's there again, I'll pick it up. And yes, that's what I did. And then next up, I picked up, this is a split that I got today. This is for the Brazilian blackish speed metal band Whip Striker and another band that I wasn't familiar with from Columbus, Ohio. Their names are Ophiuchus, and they play black and heavy metal. This is 12 songs, 43 minutes. Came out on Tribulation Productions in 2015. I like Whip Striker. They're one of those bands. I found out about them through Drucifer and his channel. He talked about them a little bit. Listened to them, liked them. Saw this. I've picked up a couple things since and saw that, and I was like, it wasn't too over the top pricing wise, so I snagged that one. And yeah, I wasn't familiar with the other band that was in it, so I figured we would play a little short clip of that, and we'll keep this madness going here. So yeah, this is Whip Striker. The Queen rips again.
Don't realize you are afraid. Shit makes you out of day by day. DAs are out of the
You kind of get the point there as far as what they bring to the table. They definitely do that. They got that old school, like venomish, not a little Bathory, Celtic, like that old school, like black and thrash kind of thing that's really popular. I enjoy it a lot. I enjoy a lot of the modern bands that do that style. And then this is going to be Ophiuchus again. Very new to this band. So hopefully I pull up the right one. Let's see. Give me a second here. If I pull up the wrong one, then No, I did pull up the right one. So this is them. This is a song called Shadow. Kind of get the idea of so next up, going from Whip Striker, we're gonna go. I don't know if I can show this album cover on the old YouTube ski. I'll see if I can do this with here. Let me. It's for the it's for the there. It's an Oregon three piece. They do a mix of black and death metal. This is Pestilential Rites of Infernal Fornication by the band Weregoat. This came out in 2017 on Iron Bonehead. And I don't know how much of this I can show on here. I try to behave a little bit and don't and I'll just play a little bit of the song, but it's a little bit of a Randy cover, shall we say. A young lady being violated during some sort of occult ritual in the middle of a pentagram. So this is what this sounds like. Oh, So yeah, they definitely they got that type of sound going on. But that was recommended to me by Ken from Steelworkers. He's like, yeah, man, you should check that out. He said, I think you'll probably enjoy it a little bit. So next up, I don't have I'm not going to play anything with this, and I'll probably try to speed this up a little bit. So this one I saw this there a few times ago, and then I didn't have a chance to look in the section and saw it was there, so I went and snagged it. But this is Endless Journeys by the True Werewolf. I'm really loving anything that I hear Werewolf do. This is one of his secondary bands, so I figured I would check it out and see how I liked it. I know it's a mix of black and ambient stuff, so it might be hit or miss. I don't know, but it's a compilation, a bunch of EPs and demo type stuff, but I didn't see a lot of information on it. So yeah, I'll see how it goes, see how I like it. And then next up, I picked up Back from the Funeral by Pennsylvania death doom band Mausoleum. Very cool band. It's got members of Morpheus Descends, who I love. Former members of Guiana and Incantation are in there, and very cool death doomy stuff. Play a little clip of this. This is their second release. It came out on. This came out on Behind the Mountain. I forget what year it was, but I know it was their second release that came out. And yeah, I'm slowly but surely picking up some Mausoleum stuff, and a very cool band. I like that. I like that slow, sludgy, death doomy type of stuff. That's kind of my ish, as the kids might say. But yeah, here let's check some of this out. let me move on to the tape portion here, and I'm gonna stick with this a little bit with the Death Doomy side of things because I picked up a couple of splits by the band Anatomia, Tokyo, Japan, Death Doom band, and I got a split that they did with Mausoleum. Very cool stuff. And then I picked up one that they did with the band Costa Rican Death Doom band Pazuzu, Indwelling Morbidity. This came out on Life After Death, or it was originally issued on. I wrote it down, I think. No, this is a reissue, I believe, and then the Mausoleum Anatomia, that one was done. This was a head split reissue, but both very cool stuff. All three are very cool Death Doom bands. Let me see if I can't play a little bit of the Pazuzu stuff if I have that pulled up or not. So let me do that real quick. Boom, boom. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, let me play a little bit of that. See what you think of this stuff. Yeah, you kind of get the idea with Zuzu. Tell me in a second here. Honestly, I think as far as the splits go, I think I like the Mausoleum Anatomia one better, at least on Anatomia's part. I didn't really, upon first listen, I really didn't enjoy too much their split they did with Pazuzu, but I really did enjoy that Pazuzu one. I thought that was pretty good stuff. All right. Apparently, I had my hand on the space bar and it was moving the damn thing. This one's a little bit crazier than some of the earlier stuff I heard. But I don't know, it was all right. So that one I might have to give a couple more spins to really kind of get into it a little bit more. And then as far as more tape stuff, I'll try to breeze through these a little bit. I picked up Cyanide live at Reggie's. This was really cool. I'm not a big live guy, but I did a bunch of stuff here. I did pick up, had live stuff on there. So go figure. I picked up this split by these are two Polish black metal bands, Beleth and Moon Tower. I've heard some stuff about Moon Tower, but I just figured I would check it out. Again, it was very cheap as far as pricing wise goes, and this was, I don't know if that's 53 of 333 or what that deal is, what that A is supposed to. I don't know if that's a one. That's supposed to be a one, but either way, that wasn't my favorite. I'll be honest. It wasn't the greatest thing in the world. And then I picked up a couple of other cassettes that I'm going to dig into. But this is for the Portugal band Array, and this one here is Lurking in the Depths, full length from 2020, and this is the Maniacal Perversions of My Soul. I believe that's a mouthful. And this was a demo from 2019. I figured I'd play a quick little clip of these guys. Basically, the vocalist, Vulturius, I guess he is one of the main people that has spearheaded the Portugal black metal movement. and I guess he's part of whatever circle of people that are there. So yeah, I'll play a little quick clip of that if I can. But yeah, you kind of get a general idea of what they sound. Definitely a lot more on the raw black metal side, but yeah, I'm gonna listen to those and I'll listen to them a little bit more in depth and yeah, let you know what I thought of them. So yeah, and then finally, as far as the tapes go, this was one of the ones I went back for. A little bit on the pricier side as far as cassette tapes would go, but I said I have to get it. It's still in the wrapping. It's 40 Reasons to Hate Us by you know who that is. A name that shan't be named on YouTube, but AC, a fantastic grindcore band. You know, I enjoy everything of theirs that I listen to, and yeah, very cool stuff. So I'm gonna enjoy that one. And then finally, I know nobody's gonna give a crap about this, but I'm gonna show it anyway. This is for the hair metal band from the '90s, Baton Rouge, Louisiana hair band. Kind of fell through the cracks in the early '90s, but was it? It's all right from the little bit that I've heard. Some of it's a little bit too much on the sappy, saccharine side, but there's a couple of decent rockin' tracks on it. And I like collecting old, obscure hair metal bands and stuff like that, particularly if they're good and a little bit on the grittier side. The rockin' stuff has a little bit more in line with Cinderella versus, like, say, a Poison. But what I thought was interesting is looking up some info on the band is that the singer Kelly Keeling, he went on to do some stuff with Blue Murder, but he wasn't there long during their Nothing But Trouble era. He was supposed to be the second guitar player in the band, and then he ended up leaving after I think like a month. And then I guess he toured with TSO for a short time, but very cool stuff. And then yeah, so that is that. And then we got the CDs here. So I'm try and rip and run through these. Some of these, yes, I got a double header of Grim Reaper, See You in Hell and Fear No Evil. I found that and I was like, yeah, I got to pick that up. I don't own any Grim Reaper stuff, so I said, yeah, I'll snag that real quick. Found this and was like, yeah, I got to get it. I don't have any of their stuff on. I don't have any copies of any of their stuff, so I had to get this one. Hacked Up for Barbecue. This one is I think it's a Relapse reissue. I think it's the newer version. Got some more Coffin stuff. Would have preferred to have this on vinyl just because the way, you know, I guess maybe there's some OCD going on there or something. I don't know, but just to kind of keep things in line. But I did pick this up, March of Despair by Coffins. More Japanese death doom, fantastic stuff. This one I had, but I don't like the way the packaging is on it with the full dynamic range that got put out. So I picked up this Blessed Are the Sick by Morbid Angel, classic. Don't have to say any more about that. And it was $4. You know, I couldn't beat that for $4. Same with this one. Picked up Harmony Corruption. This was a second reissue from Earache and Combat. Very cool stuff. Very, you know, don't have to say anything about this one. I just never owned a copy of it. Don't own a lot of Napalm Death stuff. I think I own one of their albums, one other album, and that's pretty much it. Then I picked up, as far as, you know, I can't let the Doom go unrepresented in my collection here. So I picked up Crowbar Live +1. This was at a New Orleans Music Hall or something like that. This is kind of the classic lineup for me. This was the lineup that put out the self-titled, and that's when I first started listening to them. But very cool stuff, High Rate Extinction. The thing I liked is that they do this more. The tempo of it is similar to the album release. Nowadays, they play the song a lot slower, but Self-Inflicted, I Have Failed, All I Gave. So a lot of this was pretty much a lot of the stuff from the self-titled. And then there's another track on the plus one is Numb Sensitive, but never owned it. I see it all the time at various places and just never picked it up because I was never a huge live guy, but I went ahead and got it. Goat Snake, Trampled Under Hoof. This is Greg Anderson from Southern Lord, one of his many projects. Very cool. This one, it's got Pete Stahl on vocals. It had Scott Reeder from Caius on bass, which I thought was very cool. They do a couple of covers. They do a St. Vitus cover. They do Burial at Sea. They do Black Oak, Arkansas cover, Hot Rod. Black Oak's one of my favorite Southern rock bands. Just a dirty, nasty, gritty band. They also, Jim Dandy did some spoken word stuff on the latest Wake album, Return of Magic. So I thought that was kind of cool to hear. Then I picked up these, still fresh. I got these today, and they're still fresh in the casing, but a couple Pagan Altars, the Time Lord and Mythical and Magical. Heavy Psych Sounds is about to put a reissue of this out, but I saw this, and I figured it was a pretty decent price, so I went ahead and snagged it. And if I like it enough to pick it up on vinyl, I'll get it, but I figured that it was good enough, and plus, you supporting local industry. Next up, A Blessing in Disguise by Green Carnation, fantastic band. Death early on, leaning more into proggy type stuff later. They will be on my best of list. It's in some manner, some form or fashion, just as I guess, half-ass spoiler. I picked up Helmet's a demo by Helmet, band Helmet, kind of like alt rock stuff. Very cool. If you like Helmet, it's a cool little thing to have, and I enjoyed it. It was fine for what it was. It's not something I'm going to be playing all the time, but it's a cool little thing to pick up. This was a recommendation by Ken. I don't know how much I'll be spinning this one, but this is Tago Mago by the krautrock band Ken. And I don't know if I can listen to this too much, but like he was saying, it's 99 cents. So you can't beat it too much. Then this one's cool. I've been kind of on a Cramps kick. So I saw this and I got Bad Music for Bad People and just fantastic stuff. Garbage Man, the Goo Goo Muck is just Human Fly, just very cool, dirty rockabilly type of stuff. If you're into that sort of thing, which I enjoy it. I enjoy the Cramps. I don't listen to solely just heavy metal, and that's one of those kind of fun things I like to, like throw it in with like the Misfits and stuff like that. It's got that cool font that I also like to utilize when I'm doing my videos. So yeah, I can't really go wrong there. And then finally, a couple more albums. I got this one. This is the second release from Baltimore, Maryland doom band Iron Man. This was their first one with their new singer after the first album. Very cool stuff. If you're not familiar with Iron Man, they are an excellent underground doom band. Maryland has a very killer scene, especially back then, and so many good bands that came out of that area. Like Earth Ride is another one that doesn't get enough love, but I've heard one or two people talk about them. But yeah, so this is a quick little clip of some of what Iron Man is all about. Al Morris, fantastic guitar player. He's been dead for about 7 years, but fantastic band.
Ride out into the night, smoke and fire crowds the light, with eyes of fire, head with many crowns.
They kind of get the idea what they sound like. They got that old school, very Iommi guitar driven type of Iommi riffs and lots of riff lordy type stuff, which I love the hell out of stuff like that. And then finally, this was another recommendation that I picked up based on Revik's recommendations. I asked him, as far as some of their stuff, what would be good to check out if you'd never heard them before, and they had 3 of their albums there. One of which was an original pressing. I want to say it was called. I'll tell you in a second while I play the sample of it. But this is Heaven in Flames by Judas Iscariot. And he said, yeah, man, that's a good album. You should definitely check that out if you want to get into them a little bit. So yeah, I was enjoying this. I kind of tell that there's some influence there with Mordant Red and Judas Iscariot, because you can hear some of the similarities in the vocal stylings. So I was asking him about it. He was telling me that, yeah, there's definitely some influence there on top of a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, I could definitely hear that, and very cool stuff. I was spinning this earlier while I was putting together all my notes to make a damn near hour-long video, which I may clip up and do this in parts to try and make it more easily digestible for people. But yeah, man, let's check some of this out. This is Gaze Upon Heaven in Flames. All about
I feel the darkness. Blessed be the kingdom of night. Wretched, blasphemy. For yours to the dark. Evil, in my veins. Swelling death, black and hate. Dark.
that was pretty much all the stuff between Sound Exchange and Steelworker Records. So it was a pretty successful, maybe a little bit more financially irresponsible than I should have been. But again, I got a nice little refund on my card, so I figured I would pay it forward, as the saying goes. And yeah, I went out there and I had a pretty good little haul last week, and then I probably went a little bit crazier than I should have on this one, but it's some cool stuff. Hopefully I don't need the money for anything too serious, but I'm good. But yeah, let me tell you that of Great Eternity, that was the one. There was an OG CD pressing of it that Ken had at Steelworkers, but like Revik was saying, is that maybe it was a little bit more than, like, if it was a gatefold LP or record with a bunch of new artwork and stuff like that, it might be worth $50, but not for just a CD. So I was like, okay, I'll hold off on that. But somebody snagged it, I believe, because I didn't see it there when I was there today. And then finally, because we are past the Christmas holiday season, so I figured I would show you a couple things that I got for Christmas. So people typically, I'm another one of these people, like I see a couple people talk about this, that it's kind of hard to shop for me because nobody really knows what I'm into as far as music wise. They don't know what to get me. They don't know if it's gonna appease my taste or my interests. So people tend to not buy me music, but a couple of people, they went out of their way at work to get me stuff. And one of the ones I got was one of my coworkers got me a copy of Traces of Death 4 soundtrack, which is pretty cool. I mean, there's a couple good songs on here. You got some Dissection and Hypocrisy and Dismember, some Monstrosity on there. There's a couple stinkers on here, maybe especially towards the tail end. Some of the bands who I wasn't familiar with, they start doing more like the industrial noise kind of stuff that really doesn't appeal to me, but was getting trendy at the time. So it's definitely one of those things that happen. And then one of my coworkers, she picked me up a copy of Deicide Legion. This is a European repress of it. I can't remember which one it is. I was trying to look it up just to sound all nerdy and intellectual and like looking at the back cover and everything, trying to figure out which one was which. but I didn't have the heart to tell her, but I already have a copy. So, and I think it's the exact same type. I think it's the exact same copy. So these are out there floating in circulation. So I figured probably what I'll end up doing is I'll probably I might sell one for credit at one of the stores, and I'll keep the one with the sentimental value, and yeah, just go from there. But it was cool. It was definitely it was appreciated. You know, I certainly appreciate anytime anybody does anything for me. But a lot of times that's why people don't do stuff for me, is because stuff like that might happen. But yeah, man, so that is my ridiculous, irresponsible record haul collection update. Hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, so that's that. So everybody, probably next time I'll see you will be the end of the year. I'll have my end of year review lists up by then, and everybody stay safe, have a happy and safe new year, and I will catch you soon. Take it easy. This is Dan from Moonshine Talking, saying as always, stay sick, stay heavy, stay brutal, always tuck your chin upon impact. Don't forget to breathe. Have a good one, and I will catch you on the next video. Later.